WWE have a problem, and that problem is Oba Femi. And the reason that Oba Femi's a problem is because after retiring Brock Lesnar at Wrestlemania 42, what does he actually do next? Well, in this video, we are going to book it with the help of a mystery wheel. So as you will see on screen right now, we have the names of every upcoming premium live event. And also, we have the names of every male WWE superstar on the current roster. So let's find out who Oba Femi's first feud is going to be. Okay. Oba Femi's first feud is going to be against Randy Orton. You know what? I could see this. But now we need to find out, is Oba gonna win or gonna lose this feud? Let's spin the wheel and find out. Okay, we are getting off to a positive start because Oba is going over. So we have added our first feud to our list. Now let's book it. So the way I would book this feud is actually pretty simple. We see it on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Oba come out and just drop the mic. It was literally a mic drop moment. So maybe, just maybe, we go back in time and rewrite that. Oba comes out as he did in his suit, drops the mic, and we expect him to leave. But who sneaks up from behind and attacks him? Randy Orton. You can have an enraged Randy Orton after losing to Cody Rhodes just begin to pummel on Oba Femi. We're starting to see shades of the Viper that we once knew and loved from 2009. And then you have Randy Orton in the corner doing that heavy breathing that he does where spit's flying everywhere as Oba stumbles onto all fours and Randy Orton delivers a brutal punt kick, sending a clear message. You can then have all the security and producers come out and take Orton away, and maybe you even put Oba in a neck brace to really sell, like, oh, okay, look, the punt is very protected. So, yeah, you could take Oba out on a stretcher. Maybe you even go towards the back and have Oba being put into an ambulance, and Randy comes flying in and just dives and starts pummeling on him again. I mean, it's been spoken about a lot that it is really hard to turn Randy Orton into a heel because he is so loved. But Oba Femi is going to be a top star and already has tons of fans, myself included. One way to maybe get some people to turn on him is by having him attack Oba Femi. And over the coming weeks, you can have Randy Orton delivering promos on Monday Night Raw, saying about he hates the new guard, he is the old guard, he is the man that built this company alongside guys like John Cena, Triple H and Brock Lesnar, and they're not here anymore, so he is the head of the table to steal a line from Roman Reigns. In promos, you can even have Randy Orton say that he lost to Cody Rhodes because he took his eye off the ball. He tried to be the old Viper, but it wasn't really him. You can have him say that he was playing a character because it's what he thought he needed to do, when in reality, he actually needed to go back and just become that person. And on the last Raw before Backlash, I would have Randy Orton in the ring cutting a promo as we'd seen the previous weeks, and I would have Oba Femi come and blindside Randy Orton from behind, still wearing the neck brace. And this would be a callback to how Randy Orton would attack Oba Femi at the Raw after WrestleMania. And as Randy is beaten on the ground, I would have Oba rip off that neck brace and drop it on Randy Orton's lifeless body. And as for the match at Backlash, you could go down the squash route like you did at WrestleMania with Brock, but I don't think you do that here because Randy, well, he isn't going to be retiring. I think they have a bit of a competitive match, and if anything, you could make it a no-holds-barred match and really, like, have Randy be almost like a psychopath. Have him shave his head completely bald if you want to really get a callback to 09 Randy Orton. But I would have this match be absolute brutality. Let Oba Femi show what he can do in that ring over a long period of time. Let Randy show why he is still one of the best in the world. But ultimately, Oba would pick up the W. Clean 1-2-3 pinfall in the middle of the ring. So since we have now booked Backlash, it's time to jump to Clash in Italy. But before we do that, this is the Chaos Wheel. On this wheel, we have multiple different outcomes. Some good, some bad, and some where I can just skip, like the free hits over here. But there are things like injuries, world title shots, tag team matches, and this will give us a bit of intrigue in between each feud. So let's spin this Chaos Wheel for the first time. Okay, we are landing on injury, miss next pay-per-view. So Oba Femi will not be at Clash in Italy. And you could really sell this from the fact maybe in the match at Backlash with Randy Orton, Oba did pick up a serious injury. Well, maybe not a serious injury, but an injury big enough to keep him out of Clash in Italy. So we have updated our list. Clash in Italy, we have no answer. So for Night of Champions, we need to spin for Oba's next feud. We're not going to spin the wheel because we just did, and that's why he's not a Clash in Italy. So let's spin Oba's next opponent. Oh my god. If this isn't a future WrestleMania match, I don't know what is. Now we need to figure out who is going to win this feud. Will Oba win or lose? And Oba is going to lose this feud. Now, for Oba versus Bron Breakker, I'm actually not too sure how you start this feud, to be honest. One of the only ways I can think that you start this feud is by involving Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Perhaps in a backstage segment, they get on the wrong side of Oba Femi. So on that same episode of Raw, you would see Oba Femi versus, I would say, Austin Theory. Now in the match, Oba versus Austin Theory, Oba absolutely squashes Austin Theory. And in the process, just dismantles Logan Paul on the outside as well. And Bron Breakker, coming off the back of winning his feud against Seth Rollins, decides, you know what, I need to step up as the real leader of the Vision and take down this man who has destroyed my friends. I would even, on a couple episodes of Raw later, maybe the one after, have Bron come out and publicly call out Oba Femi. Let Bron hit one of them great promos like he did in the CM Punk feud. And this would set up the 1 versus 1 match for Night of Champions, Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi. And I think you can have this match be a very competitive match, the same way the Randy Orton match was. Again, these are two guys that are going to be at the very top of WWE in years to come, so you don't really want to have anyone squash the other. But I would have Oba look dominant, I would have Bron look dominant, I'd have a lot of false finishes. But in the end, with some help from Logan Paul and Austin Theory, with a distraction, I would have Bron Breakker spear Oba Femi and get the 1, 2, 3. So now we have updated our list, Night of Champions, with Bron Breakker getting the win. I think it's time that we move on to SummerSlam, and for that we need to go and spin the Chaos Wheel. So let us spin the Chaos Wheel. Obviously last time we had an injury, hopefully that doesn't happen again, because SummerSlam needs Oba Femi. Okay, we are going to be continuing the last feud, which was Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi. That's continuing into SummerSlam. Can Oba get his get back? Let's see, will Oba win or lose against Bron Breakker at SummerSlam? Oh my god, that was so close, but Oba will be getting his get back against Bron Breakker. So in truth, this has actually made my life quite easy, because the continuation of this feud is very simple. I think, to be honest, you would have Adam Pearce as Raw General Manager call out Bron Breakker and the Vision and say, Bron, you said you wanted to defend your group and you wanted to do it honorably, but you didn't do that. They helped you win. So Oba Femi will get a rematch against you, and it will be a fair 1 versus 1 match where Austin Theory and Logan Paul will be banned from ringside. Now, this, of course, would enrage the Vision, in specific Austin Theory and Logan Paul. I would imagine that they would be absolutely kicking off, you know, kicking the bottom ropes, really getting angry. But that is when Bron would lift up the microphone and say, I accept, that's fine. I will beat Oba once and for all. And then as for the match at SummerSlam, I think we would just get a continuation of the match at Night in Champions. Another great competitive match. I don't think you have to do anything special with these two. I think they would just have a great match. I don't need to book any specific spots. But the way I would have the match end is quite simple. I would have Bron go for the spear, Oba move out the way, Bron go straight into the ring post, come stumbling out, have Oba launch him up into that power bomb. 1, 2, 3. So then they would be at 1 apiece, and maybe down the line we can continue that feud. And now, with our updated list, we move on to Money in the Bank. Now, for Money in the Bank and pay-per-views like this, where there is a specialty match type, we're going to have a different sort of chaos wheel, and that is this one, and that determines whether Oba Femi will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So let's spin the wheel to find out, is Oba Femi in the Money in the Bank ladder match? And we have our answer, and the answer is yes, Oba Femi will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, I could spin the names of all the other participants, but that just feels a bit pointless, so instead we're just going to see whether Oba wins or loses. Oh my god, Oba will not be Mr. Money in the Bank. With having Oba in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I think you can actually tell a pretty good story of why he doesn't win. And part of me would want to use Bron Breakker to tell that story, but for the sake of keeping the video legit, I'm not going to. So instead, the story I am going to tell is that Oba Femi gets teamed up on by everyone, and they do everything they can to take him out of the match at every opportunity. It's almost like an unspoken alliance between all the other participants that if ever there is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you in the ring at once, if Oba Femi's there, you all target him, because they will know that he is obviously the biggest threat. And I think you could even do a great spot where you have like 5 guys pick Oba Femi up over their shoulders and just launch him through a ladder or through an announce table, similar to the Omos spot from a few years ago. And in doing so, you would prove how strong Oba is, that to have him not win the match, it took so many people to take him out of the match. So now, after updating our schedule, list, whatever I'm calling it at this point, we have hit the halfway point, and that is Crown Jewel. And before we find out who Oba Femi is going to be facing at Crown Jewel, let's find out what stipulation or non-stipulation we're going to have going into it. So let's spin this wheel. Okay, we're getting a free hit. I don't mind that. That means no stipulation will be added to the next feud. And Oba Femi's opponent for Crown Jewel is going to be... Let's spin the wheel and find out. Oh my god. Oba's taking on Danhausen. Now, as much as I am a Danhausen fan, I'm going to pray that this lands on win for Oba Femi, because we can't have Oba lose to Danhausen, but let's spin it and find out. Okay, thank God Oba is beating Danhausen. I mean, it's a shame for Danhausen. I love him. Please don't curse me, but Oba needs to win this feud. Now, in all honesty, this is actually quite a hard one to book, because how do you book Danhausen, a comedy character, taking on, you know, who is going to be one of the future greatest of all times in WWE, Oba Femi? Honestly, the only thing I can come up with for this is that maybe on Raw, Oba Femi cuts a promo talking about how he is the best in WWE right now, and how absolutely no one can stop him. He proved he could retire beasts like Brock Lesnar. He proved he could beat goats like Randy Orton. And he proved that he could beat next big things like Bron Breakker. And because this would be after his loss in Money in the Bank, you could even have him say, and I don't care about that stupid ladder match. I don't need a briefcase to win me a world title. I'll do it off my own back. He could even really lean into the fact that no one can beat him one-on-one, because it took how many people to beat him in the ladder match, and Bron Breakker could only beat him when he had the help of Austin Theory and Logan Paul. And this is when I would have Oba interrupted by Danhausen, and I would have Danhausen come out and say, you know, to Oba Femi, Oba, I am a big fanhausen of you. I would even have Danhausen do his, you know, usual arrogance that's him not being very self-aware, and say, you know, Danhausen is the best in the world, Hausen, but you can be a very close second. And while this is going on, Oba is just confused. He doesn't know. I wouldn't even have him know who Danhausen was. And at this point, Danhausen has been walking down the ramp, and he's going to enter the ring. And I would have Oba get on the mic and say, has somebody lost a child? Do we need to make an announcement? And Danhausen, in response, would say, hey, so you think I'm a child, eh? I can't do the voice. But Oba Femi, you are And that is when Oba Femi would strike. Oba Femi would just throw Danhausen in the air like a child and hit him with the sit-out powerbomb. And then the following week on Raw, I would have Oba coming in very confident. Meanwhile, Danhausen is backstage in a wheelchair, in a full body cast with a neck brace on. I want his head bandaged. I want Danhausen to really sell the hell out of this. And as Oba walks past Danhausen's wheelchair, I would have Danhausen say, "So Oba Femi, you think you can just do that to me and get away with it? You are cursed." And Oba just smirks and walks off, thinking this is ridiculous. But over the rest of the episode, bad things would start to happen to Oba Femi. Maybe a stage light backstage just nearly misses him. You know, it's about to hit him, it lands just next to him. Maybe as he's about to go out to the ring to cut a promo or something, a firework falls and sprays him like what happened to Kit Wilson. You could even have to have him taken to the back and be treated for burns or something like that, I don't know. But I think over the next couple of weeks you can sell this, that Oba doesn't believe in the curse, but he can't deny that bad things keep happening to him, so he's forced to go to Danhausen. And this is where he says, "I am asking you, please lift the curse." And Danhausen's response to this would be, "Okay, but I want lots of human monies." And Oba says, "I'm not paying you a penny, mate." So Danhausen's response is, "Okay, well, if you face me at Crown Jewel and you beat me, I will lift the curse for free." And this would set up the match at Crown Jewel. And honestly, this match, I think, is a chance to show that Oba can be involved in a comedy match. And I think the entire story of the match should be that Oba is running around the ring trying to catch Danhausen, but Danhausen's just getting away. Oba tries to grab him, Danhausen flies under his arm. And I think a really creative way that no one's thought of for Danhausen to beat him, if he's just unbeatable because of the curse, is I would have Oba get into the ring and stare down Danhausen and say, "Go on, curse me then, curse me again, make it worse." And Danhausen's confused but says, "Okay, you are cursed." But as he does it, Oba Femi pulls from his tights out a mirror and it reflects the curse back at Danhausen, and he sells the absolute life out of this. He can't believe it. He has cursed himself. And in doing so, he turns and tries to run out the way, but trips. And Oba catches him, throws him off, powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. And after the match, you could even let them have a little segment where Danhausen has to get up and remove the curse from Oba Femi. And Oba, because you don't want to turn him full heel, let him be just kind of a not heel, not face. You give him the mirror that he used, and Danhausen can say, "You are uncursed," in the mirror at himself, to uncurse himself as well. But I think that's a creative way to kind of get around this curse thing. Keep the curse strong, keep the curse protected, but still have Danhausen lose. So, following that match, we move on to Survivor Series. Now, I was contemplating whether to do the yes or no for the War Games. I just don't think I'm going to. I don't think I want Oba involved in that. Maybe I should, and maybe this is cheating, but Oba will not be involved in War Games. So we're going to spin the Chaos Wheel, and then we're going to pick his opponent. So first, let's spin the Chaos to find out how this next match could be ruined. Okay, I was worried there for a second, but thank God we get another free hit. And Oba's opponent for Survivor Series is going to be the person who we get on this spin, so let's find out. Okay, I don't mind this. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but Ilya Dragunov. Let's hope that Oba Femi is going to win this feud, so let's spin the wheel and find out. Okay, my prayers have been answered. Oba Femi is going to be Ilya Dragunov at Survivor Series. So, for Ilya Dragunov versus Oba Femi, the build for this, I would actually have be more about Ilya Dragunov. I would have Ilya obviously move to Raw, but I would have him challenge anyone who thinks they are harder than him. And you can have him face some of the hardest hitting wrestlers on the roster, like Rusev, like Sheamus, guys of that caliber. And then I would let it get to the week before Survivor Series, where I would have Dragunov beat whoever his opponent was, and I would have him say, "These guys are not good enough for me. I want Oba Femi." Then Oba Femi's music would hit, he would walk out in a suit with a microphone and say, "I accept," and drop the mic and walk back out as his music plays. And that would build us to Dragunov versus Oba Femi at Survivor Series. Now, this match actually has a ton of potential to be a crazy, hard-hitting, false finish chaos match. The story I would tell with this is that Oba Femi has not been struck like this by anyone, and in doing this, even though Oba is going to beat Dragunov, you can make a star out of Dragunov if you make him competitive with Oba. I wouldn't let Dragunov get close to beating Oba, and what I mean by that is, when I say false finishes, like 2 counts, but Oba's still muscling him off, it never really looks like Oba is down for the count. But ultimately, in the end, Oba would pin Dragunov 1, 2, 3. And next, we move on to the Royal Rumble. Now, I do need to explain something that may or may not make the video based on how our spins go. We are going to be spinning the yes or no wheel for the Royal Rumble to find out, is he going to be in the Royal Rumble match. Now, if by chance Oba is in the Royal Rumble match and he does win, because it is a 50-50, there's a good chance it does happen, he will not be competing at the Elimination Chamber. But if Oba is in the match and loses, or Oba is not in the match, then he will be at the Elimination Chamber and will have a chance to be in the Elimination Chamber match. Just so we're clear, because there's no point if Oba wins the Rumble. He already has a world title shot at Wrestlemania in the main event. What's the point of having him at the Elimination Chamber? But me saying all of that might have been completely irrelevant if Oba is not going to be in the Royal Rumble match. So let's find out. Okay, Oba is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. The real question, though, is will he win the Royal Rumble match? Let's find out. Well, I said what I said for a reason, because Oba will win the Royal Rumble match. He will get a world title opportunity at WrestleMania, and he will not be at Elimination Chamber. As for the Royal Rumble match, I don't think we need to have Oba Femi come in earlier, because we've seen that at the last Royal Rumble. He had his moment of coming in early, clearing out a lot of people. So this time around, I would have him come around in the 20 to 30 range. But once he came in, I would have him clear house as per usual for Oba Femi. Now, truthfully, I couldn't say who his final 2 opponent would be, but I would want it to be someone at the top of the card, like a Cody Rhodes, a CM Punk, a Randy Orton, a Bron Breakker, and I would have him just absolutely clothesline the life of them out of the ring to have him stand victorious in the Royal Rumble. And with that, our list has been updated. Royal Rumble match now has a W, and Elimination Chamber has no answer because he won't be there. So now we move to WrestleMania, and in all honesty, I actually can't really spin the Chaos Wheel because none of the options, apart from 3 hits, are going to be applicable to this match. So we're just going to spin Oba Femi's World Championship or WWE Championship opponent. Now, to be honest, it would have been very easy of me to say, well, I'll just pick Cody or Roman because they're the current champions, but in a year's time, are they going to still be the WWE and World Champions? Well, maybe they might be, but in my world, I don't know that they are. So it's very good chance it could land on Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, but we'll see. Anyone who it lands on could be our WWE or World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, I mean, I said there was a chance. To be fair, I said there was a likely chance. There wasn't actually a likely chance. It was one in God knows how many, but we've landed on Cody Rhodes, so Oba Femi is going to be going for the WWE Championship. The question I now have to ask is, will Oba Femi be winning the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes? Let's find out. Well, I think I could have predicted that one. After the run we've seen Oba Femi go on throughout this video, he will be defeating Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. So let's book it. Now, truthfully, I actually don't think we could have got a better opponent for Oba Femi because there is already unfinished business here from Saturday night's main event. So after Oba's win in the Royal Rumble, when it came time for him to pick his opponent, I would have both the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and whoever the World Champion is at that time, both in the ring with Oba, and Oba says, I know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the man that I have unfinished business with, the man that I was going to beat, the man I know I can beat, and the man I am going to prove I can beat at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes. And with that, the match is set. I actually don't think you have to do too much more booking. I think there's already a great deal of excitement for that match, so I think that is absolutely fine. As far as the match goes, I think Cody comes out his usual confident self in a ridiculous outfit with a massive skull mask and a massive coat, and he goes the full 9 yards. And I would have Oba come out on business, but also looking confident. In the ring, they will stare down at each other as the crowd builds with anticipation. And as the bell rings, they waste no time and go straight at each other. Now, I know we've used the term competitive match a lot throughout the video, but this match will be Oba Femi's most competitive. As much offense as he gets in, Cody will get the same, because Cody is the top guy in WWE, whether you like it or not. So him and Oba should be on par. I know in size they may be not on par, but they will be on par in this match. They will be going hit for hit. And this is the time where you really can make Oba look like he is down and out. You can have him do them really last millisecond kickouts. Maybe Cody crossroads him. 1, 2, 3's coming, it's going to be done. No, Oba just about kicks out. And you can do the same for Cody. Have Oba hit that big sit-out powerbomb. 1, 2, last second. And the way I would end this match, a way that I think is quite unique, is after a bunch of crossroads, a bunch of powerbombs. I'm not one for finisher spamming, but when it's good, it can be good. So in this instance, I think it can be good. After a bunch of that, Cody Rhodes, probably covered in blood, with one final gasp, runs at the ropes, bounces on with one foot, goes off, tries to go for the disaster kick. Oba catches him, marches him round with him on his shoulders into the middle of the ring, picks him up, slams him down. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi is your new WWE champion. But with me saying that, that rounds out our full year for Oba Femi. To give you a reminder of the full rundown that we have booked, Randy Orton will lose to Oba Femi. Oba Femi will not be at Clash in Italy due to injury. Bron Breakker will beat Oba Femi with the help of the Vision at Night of Champions. And Oba Femi will beat Bron Breakker at SummerSlam. Oba Femi will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but will lose. At Crown Jewel, Oba Femi will beat Danhausen after reversing his own curse. And at Survivor Series, Oba Femi will beat Ilya Dragunov in a hard-fought, hard-hitting match. Oba Femi will be in the Royal Rumble match and will win it. Because of this, he will not be at Elimination Chamber. And at WrestleMania, Oba Femi will challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship and win his first major World Championship. So that is the video. If you are new here, make sure to go down below, drop a like and subscribe. This video has took a lot of time. Make sure to comment as well and let me know what you've thought of this video, what you think of this little fantasy booking run we've done for Oba Femi, and let me know what superstars you want to see me do this for next.